You were a member of President J.R. Jayawardena's cabinet in 1977, mentioned, and that cabinet was tasked with starting Sri Lankan's economy after the economic downturn that preceded J.R. Jayawardena's government between 1970 and 1977. I was wondering how your experience in that cabinet informed your decisions in 2022 when you took up the post of Prime Minister, and how it informed your approach to reviving Sri Lanka's economy in the face of the crisis.
Well, being in President Jayawardena's cabinet was certainly an experience. We went through very turbulent times, firstly economic, then political. We've learned a lot on how to be ministers, what is collective responsibility, how to work as a team, and not to get stuck in conventional thinking. It all depends on the numbers that you can get, who is available there, and you could work with a small team. I think that helped me a lot when I came here, but I had one experience that President Jayawardena didn't have. President Jayawardena picked a team he knew well. He worked around with us, he judged us, and he decided you are the people who are the people who can make it to the team. I didn't have that opportunity. I got a team, and I must say they worked as well as we did in 77.
Yeah, I want to know whether Your Excellency will take punitive action against those responsible for the cremation of the Muslim COVID corpses.
Well, we have now brought in the bill on cremation and burials. The people will be responsible for it. We will be having a select committee of parliament to go into the issue of the report that was submitted, which said that burials should not be permitted. But of course, there is also a Supreme Court judgment. So some of them can even take cover under that. That is the one issue we have. That's why we decided to have a parliamentary select committee and not a normal committee.
We deal with a lot of investors. I'm a lawyer by profession, but then again, dealing with a lot of investors, one of the main impediments which comes forward is the process of taking approvals. So, for example, even if it's a solar energy project, you have to go through about 17 authorities and also going through the BOI and also bringing in investments. Most of the investors, when they come forward, they are worried about the time frame of going through the approvals. Is there any application in future to interact with investors and also to speed up the process of getting approvals?
Yeah, we have what is called, we are bringing the new Economic Commission under the Economic Transformation Act. It comes into effect on 1st of January, and there's one single point, and they are empowered to give decisions. Any agency has 2 weeks in which they should reply. It's at the discretion of the Commission whether to give them a week more or so. But certainly by within the end of the month, if they haven't replied, you take a decision. If they have replied, you decide the actions you are going to take, and you can overrule it with the permission of the minister.
The question is about corruption in this country and discipline. A country's progress, it comes with discipline. So, Mr. President, what will you do if you are re-elected again to create a disciplined society and eradicate corruption from Parliament itself?
No, corruption is an issue that we have to deal with. No doubt about it. The last government we had a number of committees functioning. There was the bribery commission, there was a police had 2 divisions, the anti-corruption one under DIG Ravi Vaidyalankara, the CID under DIG Ravi Seniratna. There was a secretariat on anti-corruption headed by a member who was nominated, Anand Vijaypala, was nominated by the JVP. And finally, we had one more member, Valiamuna, who was working from the President's office. So we did it in these ways. But there still were people who said, look, this is not enough. But when looking at it, I understood that we had a lot of shortcomings in our laws, which no one was willing to address. They all wanted to be popular by saying we are going to fight corruption. This is a popular one. We are going to fight corruption and we are going to put the corrupt into jail. I disagree. We cannot put the corrupt into jail. You will want to know why. Only the courts can put the corrupt into jail. We who are politicians can't be putting corrupt. Whether we think they are corrupt or not, we can't. We can prosecute them and then send them to jail. But we have always been doing the politics of it. Everyone is taken up by the politics of it. When I have been accused now that I have come to save the corrupt, I spoke to the IMF and they gave the anti-corruption agenda, the number of laws you require, the number of regulations. Once we put it into place, we'll have the best anti-corruption system in South Asia. and maybe one of the best in Southeast Asia. But we've also got to train them. Now, if you want to know the details, it will be there in the Finance Ministry website as to the anti-corruption work that we have to carry out. It's very, very exhaustive, done by a top team in the IMF. We've got to implement it, and in the next 2-3 years, I think we will be addressing most of the issues related to corruption. Even for parliamentarians, and we are bringing the parliamentary standards law to ensure that parliamentarians who are involved in it can be removed from parliament.
Good evening, Mr. President. It's an absolute honor to meet you today. My question is regards to the current passport queue. Since you have already eradicated all the other queues, with much happiness I'd say that. So what's your future plan for that as well, the current ongoing passport queue? Please give us a solution, Mr. President. That's all. Thank you.
Still one queue remaining, no?
Let that queue finish.
We have to apologize for what has taken place. But you know, we are moving out of the conventional passport into an e-passport. And we don't want to go back on it. In the process of getting the e-passport, there were delays in the procurement system. And as a government, we had to take responsibility for it. But we didn't want to go back into a conventional passport. We thought we will go ahead, take the blackguarding we are getting now for the shortage of passports. But by October, you'll all be on e-passports. So with that, the issue will be over. We are trying to issue more passports in the coming few weeks too, to get it out. But no one should be in a hurry to leave this country, because now it's all picking up. As far as government is there, we are also trying to ensure the e-passport is cheaper than the present one. So you have to bear with us, but we are getting on to the next stage of digitalization.
My question is, Excellency, for a long period of time, the minority party leaders or minority parties were with you. Just I want to know the weak points from your side, why they do not, the minority parties, especially the minority party leaders, they were in your cabinet, they couldn't support you at this time. From your side, are there any weak points? Or what are the weak points from that side you are saying, Excellency? Thank you very much.
Yes, so minority party leaders are now with the other side and the minorities are with me.
Mr. President. In a Vikramasinghe presidency, where you can choose your own team, how would you ensure that it's not politics as usual that got us into the crisis in the first place?
I won't call it a Vikramasinghe administration. It will be another executive government in Sri Lanka. We should not personalize this around the executive. Unfortunately, I don't have a full say in selecting the team. The team has to be selected by you all. A president must work with the cabinet. And the prime minister is the person who has the support of the majority in parliament. Then from them, we will select the ministers and work. As long as I get work out of them, I mean, look at this lot. Most of them are fighting me till I came in. So it's the ability to work with anyone instead of going to select specific teams.